Three, two, one. Welcome to the Brick and Mortar Podcast. Real talk for real people. Today, I realized today that I've made a liar of myself, or will be. When on the last episode, said it was going to be the only political one. It's going to have to stay somewhat political until the end of the election, or at least the fourth. A whole lot has not hit my radar except for all the junk going on from Philly to New York and everything, and with this whole Biden thing. But we're gonna start off with something a little lighter, I guess you could say, if you'd take it away, Brick.
Yeah. Uh, my first topic of the day is gonna be the influenza pandemic of 1918, and the paper Dr. Fauci wrote in August of 2008, saying that the majority of deaths were caused by bacterial pneumonia, which is bacteria that normally inhabit the nose and throat, invading the lungs along a pathway created when the virus destroyed the cells that line the bronchial tubes and lungs. That's what causes bacterial pneumonia, which was attributed to the Spanish flu all throughout the pandemic of 1918.
So it's kind of like someone caught the flu and then wore their
Kept kept giving it to themselves repeatedly.
that caused the bacterial pneumonia, and plus couldn't get rid of all that bacteria in their mouth. How did that come
Yep.
along that they couldn't get rid of that bacteria?
Well, they were forced to wear masks as well.
Pretty much constantly, right?
Yeah, yeah, everywhere, everything they did, regardless of what they were doing.
Oof. I've seen some pictures from that era, believe it or not, and like there are people with signs says no mask equals jail and spit
Hmm.
equals death. So you couldn't even spit on the ground, you'd get arrested or whatever.
Yep.
And people think wearing these masks is against our rights, which kind of really is, but to an extent, it's common sense. You gotta wash the dang thing. That's for dang sure. Don't wear it when you're
Right.
alone. Don't wear it when you're away from people.
Right.
Uh,
If you're well over 6 feet of distance away from somebody else, you are just fine. You do not need that mask on.
yeah, unless they're coughing at you at a high rate
Right. Right.
and
In which
really
case, you
hard.
could either leave the area or, put a mask on. That way you don't catch what they've got. You just keep catching what you got. Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I see people crying all the time on posts that our governor makes, talking about, oh, we can't do nothing, blah blah blah, and half of our counties aren't even um, enforcing the mask mandate that we have here, and half of the stores in those counties that are enforcing it aren't enforcing it. So, I mean,
Right.
no one honestly really cares, and there's reports saying that COVID-19 is better than the flu if caught by children or infants. Infants can
Yeah.
fight this off.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. And then I keep hearing that if Biden wins, he's gonna force vaccines on people, and the vaccines I keep hearing about are, ooh,
What do you mean? You talking about the what was that one you told me about? I was listening to that video, that lady.
yeah, uh, where it's a like a hydrogel mixed with luciferase, and what it's supposed to do is this like little band-aid thing you put on you. When you peel it off, there's little like little pricklets, I guess. I forget the word they used.
Like
But
tiny needles, right?
yeah, yeah, like little tiny needles that stick into you, and then they release this hydrogel that like is supposed to. It's laced with this luciferase that like apparently is scannable with a phone.
Yeah, under UV light or whatnot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and it's pretty much an ID saying, "Yep, you got the uh this new vaccine
You,
that's supposed to modify your RNA to make you like stronger, faster, and potentially, according to the research, um, potentially telepathic."
well, that's getting out there. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's like whoa,
I mean,
like how much of it do you need to have to get telepathic? And
I can see
that's,
where modified RNA could interact with your DNA to change your physiology to an extent, but
I think it could probably change it completely to where your body just completely reads these things.
well, it's not like we're gonna
This RNA.
transform or anything, you know.
No, well, what if we're actually capable of telepathy? We just have no way to access it.
I
That
would
would that be something?
I would like to do a episode about that um, later on because
Yeah.
I got my own thoughts and feelings about telepathy and all that and how it could actually be possible. But I wanted to say something about what that lady said in that video, and it's about the hydrogel.
Hmm.
She said it was a gel that was comprised of nanobots,
Yeah, yeah, and that
which
that's what's gonna manipulate the RNA to modify it.
now any like just the name itself does not to me indicate that it's has to do with any kind of nanotech of a robotic capacity. See, I sound smart. A hydrogel is a network of cross-linked polymer chains that are hydrophilic, sometimes found as a colloidal gel in which water is the dispersion medium. A three-dimensional solid results from the hydrophilic polymer chains being held together by crosslinks. Now, I did not understand near the words that I spoke there, but it seems like it could be possible that the hydrogel is um, implanted with some nanobots that are, with the water being the medium is absorbed into your body with the water. A hydrophile, because it said hydrophilic, looked up hydrophile is a molecule or other molecular entity which is a constitutionally or isotopically distinct atom, molecule, ion, etc., that is attracted to water. Molecules, attracted to water molecules, everything keeps popping up on my screen. Attracted to water molecules and tends to be dissolved by water. So, like sugar. In contrast, hydrophobes are not attracted to water and may seem to be repelled by it, i.e., Rain-X. Oh, Jesus. Now, I mean, I understand that she was trying to say something, but I don't think she said it right. And you know my stance on uh, transhumanism because she brought that up, and I am all
Yeah.
for it, but I'm all for it in a technological way, like cybernetic and robotic enhancements of the body, not genetic enhancements. I don't like that. So if I have to do that little thing, I'm gonna put that band-aid right on the inside of my butt cheeks. They're gonna be like, "We need to see your vaccine." I'm like, "I don't think you want to do that."
How bad do you want to see it?
Right? Like, you can't take me to jail for this one. Oh, and
This is a trick, isn't it?
you're just trying to look at my stuff. Oh man, I wrote down a whole list of stuff like that has happened, and I write really big, so it took up a full page. If you're ready, are you ready to
Okay.
depart from this subject onto another?
I am indeed.
Now, today we don't have much time because we have a lot of stuff that we both have to do
Hmm.
in the real world, and we do not want to change our schedules because I'm going to be busy all day tomorrow as well. So I want to go through a list of things that have happened this week that have crossed my radar while I was welding or pretending to weld. In Alabama, in a Foley, Alabama neighborhood, people were, I'm sure, very surprised when a Navy training plane crashed into a neighborhood. Now, sadly enough, it killed the two pilots, and may God or whatever deity that they believed in rest their souls. And I have great respect for our um, uniformed military and everything. But the good news about this is no civilians were hurt, and I hope the families of these people can um, find closure some sort. No, it's a really sad thing, really out of the ordinary, and you know they're investigating. I have not looked for the names of the people. I do not want to put their names out. The family should be, um, their privacy should be respected. But I thought that was out of the ordinary, and it really shocked me because to become a pilot, you go through rigorous training, and you're there's no pilots that are not officers, right? These are the best of the
Um,
best.
according to an Alabama website or the Associated Press, it was a student pilot and instructor that
Yes.
died in the plane crash. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, huh?
You have to be an officer.
Oh yeah. I used to have a B-52, like a little small B-52 model that I would wake up to every day when I was a kid because I was going to join the Air Force to become a pilot, preferably of a B-52. So glad I didn't. They wouldn't take me anyway. Now, we all know, of course, I know you know, Mr. Brick, that Trump has these great big rallies, and his opposition, their campaigning is like some shambling zombie, barely trudging through a mucked up forest, tripping on everything in its path. Thousands of
Everything.
people versus tens.
Hmm.
This week in a Biden rally, a drive in rally, so they went to a parking lot that was already populated by cars and asked people to come in their cars. I'm sure of it. I
Hmm.
listened to the audio and there was barely any honking until guess who shows up?
Antifa.
No, Trump supporters.
Huh?
Trump
Trump
supporters show up,
supporters.
honking, hollering, 4 more years, flying their little flags. No violence erupted because, the Trump supporters just, on average, at large, do not cause violence. But we ralliers have been subject to such violence. There's two that I know of. One was hunted down, stalked, and shot in the chest twice in Portland, and the other man was shot in the face by illegally hired leftist, like a normal lefty, bodyguard, like armed bodyguard for a news station, and he did not have any credentials. He was not allowed um, to be there in that capacity by law whatsoever. And the news station is actually going to have criminal charges placed on it.
Good.
Yeah, and I
Good.
believe it's the Pinkerton agency. They're the ones that subcontracted him for the job. So it's like no one's doing their research and they're dumb enough. Like this dude was a known leftist. His Facebook had all kinds of lefty stuff on it, and there's no reason to believe that he was actually Antifa, but he was a leftist activist, and he did shoot a Trump supporter in the face who was backing up away from him and tried to discharge mace to avoid him getting hit. But it
Mm,
was too little too late, and the man is now deceased.
mm.
Also,
That's
yeah, that wasn't even that one wasn't the Trump rally or the Biden rally that turned into a Trump rally, because I'm sure there were more Trump ralliers when they got there than there were Biden supporters.
oh
That
yeah,
happened this week. The other one happened last week or the week before. Man, it's kind of a sad day today, ain't it?
it is.
I'm bringing up all this
It,
sad stuff. I got to take a kitten to the vet for the second time this week.
mm,
R.I.P. my savings. All
mhm.
right, I got one, two, three more, um, three more things to finish this list off. If you'll just bear with me, man.
Sure.
Have you heard about the Jeffrey Toobin thing?
No.
He's a lawyer and a legal analyst for, or maybe was for CNN and the New Yorker. And during a business Zoom call, this dude decides he's just gonna stand up. Like he adjusts the camera to an extent as well. That he's just gonna stand up and start yanking on it. Yeah, in the middle of a business call with females in the Zoom. He's like,
What
and
could be so urgent?
I don't know. I like Tim Polis said. I think it was because his coworkers, the female ones, were were actually kind of attractive, and I think he just couldn't help himself. He muted it. He was like, I thought they couldn't see me, and that's the. But oh man, dude, you gotta cover the cameras if you're gonna do that at the computer.
Right.
Like for real. I understand sometimes the urge can just be so hard to resist, but dang, dude, for real.
Have some decency.
Yeah. Oh my god. Have you heard about Trump? He's got this list of people he wants to fire, like the head of the FBI, CIA, and all that.
Mm-mm.
Oh well, yeah, he's got this whole list of people that he wants fired. I think it's because of their inactions in regards to all the stuff that should actually be investigated, like the spying and the corrupt the ties that Biden has to China
Hmm.
and everything. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, he got a whole list of people, and the of course the left news media is freaking out. Like, oh, he's firing everybody that's not loyal to him. Blah blah blah. You take office not to be partisan and to do your duties. Blah blah blah. Like, but dudes, all these people have acted in a manner in which that they're skirting on dereliction of duty mostly,
Oh yeah. I
and
believe it.
you know they got all this intel that they could act on, and they're not. They ignore all these people, and I think they're the ones that are protecting the corrupt people in politics.
Hmm.
Well, they're freaking out about it, saying that it's bad Orange Man bad, all that. And it's super hypocritical because in 2013, after um, Obama won his second term, before he even got inaugurated again, he had sent a letter to all foreign ambassadors that they are to leave their post, that they were done, they're fired. He also, he replaced every foreign ambassador. He also fired from their positions several military officers. I think about 115 total, but a few notable ones. I'm not going to bring up any names because I didn't write them down like a dummy. But there's a dude that made some critical remarks about him at one point,
Mm-hmm.
and his post, he was replaced on his post.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know.
for that.
Yeah, a lot of the. Did you hear about General Michael Flynn?
Oh yeah, they threatened his kid and everything.
Yeah, I'd like to go in depth on another episode with
Oh,
that one.
definitely. We can do the research on that. We can bring it up. I'm thinking about maybe we should do a election night stream. Maybe.
Okay.
Hopefully, we won't be destroyed for it because I'm gonna have a. We'll actually have visual for that one.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna cast the from the CNN homepage if they're doing the coverage and the Fox homepage. That way we get both sides of the aisle. I don't like CNN
We
and I
should
don't like Fox,
we
but
sh-
I like Fox more.
we should do CB or C-SPAN.
C-SPAN, yeah, I like C-SPAN.
Yeah.
They're
They're
pretty in the middle.
they're pretty neutral. Yeah, pretty neutral.
Yeah,
They're
I've
not
been
MSDNC or
MSDNC.
like good old President Trump says.
Right? I mean, it's
MSDNC.
true. It's horrible. You got to go online and hunt down individuals to find any kind of non-biased news reporting.
Yeah.
And now since the left has drove Tim Pool away, I don't it's hard to find people that are non-biased that are covering the topics I want to hear about anyway.
Right. Right.
Oh, so did you hear about this Walter Wallace guy in Philadelphia?
Walter Wallace. No, I'm not sure.
Okay. Walter Wallace had the police called on him, and because he was going crazy with a knife. Um, I, I'm not sure if it was his mother or anything who called the cops, but someone did because he was freaking out with a knife. So this dude has got several people telling him to stop, telling him to put down the knife, and between him and the cops are a row of cars, which he has to move around to get to them. They're
Mm-hmm.
telling him stop. They give him ample time, but this guy made the decision to move around these vehicles and charge at the cops. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so you know what happened. He was shot, and I believe he passed away. It is described as a fatal shooting, but you know what they put out? Their headline was "Police Shoot Black Man."
Mm-hmm.
So Philadelphia went to hell in a handbasket last night. It went absolutely people. It was a riot. Basically, they were rioting. Well, in this riot, there was a line of police, and from down the street, this truck comes, and like it's a pretty lifted truck. I don't think the officer is deceased or anything, but they Well, here it is. The officer who was struck can be seen in footage on social media as a black truck swerves into a group of officers lined across the street to protect against oncoming demonstrators. Ran her
Mm.
smooth over.
It was a female officer.
Yes. And
Wow.
I think in the video that I watched, you could hear her hollering because she was hurt. Um,
That's really me messed up, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's just trying to do her job. A job that most people are getting losing money to do.
Yeah. And you know what all this stuff's going to lead to, especially in those areas, is someone's going to call the cops. Oh, I got someone with a knife going crazy. I'm like, oh, can you describe the person? Oh, he's a black male. Like, sorry, ma'am, we can't come do that. Help you because if we do, and it goes bad, y'all will try to kill us.
Yeah, we
Demonstrators will
only
try
have
to kill
white
us.
officers.
Huh?
We only have white officers at the moment. Something like
Stuff like that, and that like, and really, I mean, all these people, these hypocritical left, like they don't care what happens.
until it happens to them.
No, they don't. They
Then,
don't care what happened. Like, yeah, that you're right. You're right because they'll be all like defund the police, and then one of them will throw themselves on a car as it's trying to meander through because it got put on the wrong road, and they'll be like, "Oh, get us plates, call the cops." Oh my god,
mm-hmm.
and that's really what you see coming from people that are not the left is mainly people driving slowly through these mobs that have surrounded them, and they will literally throw themselves on the car to make it look like they got hit.
Right,
But there have been instances where people have been ran over, and that's usually the vehicle is being attacked and it's being destroyed by these leftists, these far leftists, and the people in the car have no choice but to go forward, or their life's
right.
in danger. And there was a proud. Do you remember the Proud Boy rally that happened? I think it was in Portland or around. It was a few weeks ago.
It's,
They were in
it's,
a church parking lot, and this BLM activist leader came through and tried to run one of the guys over. Actually hit him, and he woke up in a hospital. From his perspective, but he actually ran him over, causing him head injuries.
wow,
Yeah, in a parking lot. They were in a parking lot.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and only after then did anyone do anything to the vehicle. Because I watched the video, I seen the dude get hit, and as that lady lurched forward in her vehicle to hit this guy, someone threw something and hit the back glass, breaking it.
Wow,
So it was a retaliation. Like anything against the left has actually been retaliation or defense from non-leftists. And
mm,
oh, and there's actually one instance where um, Antifa were trying to interrupt a Proud Boys rally, but there were no
mm.
Proud Boys there because it was a fake out. And when they got there, they just attacked anyone that was around, including
Oh
their own.
wow. The Antifa attacked itself.
Yeah, because this dude pulls up
Oh wow.
and they start attacking the van, and he's all trying to tell them I'm one of y'all, but they don't buy it. And they start breaking his windows and stuff. And there's a dog in there too, so they're breaking his glasses, hitting the dog and everything, and he finally leaves. But these leftists, they're really ramping up their violence, and it's absolutely horrible.
Mm,
And there's several people that wrote reports that the only way to stop this is to elect Joe Biden. Oh, yeah, they ain't going to stop even if Joe Biden gives in to them. We need
right.
law and order, not to give in and negotiate with terrorists.
Exactly.
It's absolutely
Matter of fact,
ridiculous.
America does not negotiate with terror.
No. Uh, we pay terrorists in lead.
Hmm.
That's why if you're out and about abroad and you got a,
Unless you're Obama
yeah, then you just give them guns. But if you're out and
and
about
money.
and abroad with a Spanish friend from Spain and a German friend from Germany, and you're obviously American, you have a better chance of not getting kidnapped than your buddies.
Hmm.
So that's the list.
Whoa.
So, do you got anything?
Mm, no, I don't. I think I'm out. I think yeah, other than the other topics I'm going to talk about next episode
Okay.
or in a future episode.
All right. Well,
I need to do more research into them.
I got one more before we head out,
Okay.
because I have a little less than an hour to get ready for this. I still got to call my bank and everything.
Yeah.
Um, the Amy Coney Barrett uh, confirmation. She was confirmed into. She was voted to be confirmed. 52-48, and
Wow.
yeah, and before the before the Democrats um, voted to have it to be a like a clear majority instead of a 3/4 compromise. You know, because up until I think it was in Obama's last term, because you had to have 3/4 of the Senate in order to do anything, right?
Hmm.
Because that was a good system, because you'd have to negotiate and talk, and things would change, and the best thing would come out of it, usually, hopefully. But they wanted a split down the middle majority, and they
Hmm.
were warned by McConnell himself, I believe, that they will regret it, and sooner. He said, "You will regret this, and sooner than you think."
Yep.
And so they're regretting it now.
Yeah. They sure are.
And what really bugs me and baffles me at the same time is all these little TikTokers that self identify as queer or gay or trans. They're like, oh, my rights are going to be gone. Oh, I'm crying in my bathtub. Wah,
Hmm.
wah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, they don't know anything about ACB. She, um, she follows this guideline of something called stare decisis. I don't know how it's spelled, but I know what it means. It basically means, and this is not literal translation, is let it stand. So she's not one to come in and change rulings that have already been ruled, you know? So
Gotcha.
if it came to that decision, let that decision stand. And I agree with that. I honestly do. I really do. So Roe versus Wade ain't gonna get trounced, which that wouldn't even be a really bad thing anyway, I guess. I mean, I do not care about the subject of Roe versus Wade. All it would do would kick down to the states to decide if abortion's legal or not in their states. But
Right.
none of these things, gay marriage or gay rights, whatever that is, since they got to be special and fight for something they already really had,
Hmm.
because they're all humans, human rights. I guess they were
Right.
fighting to be not discriminated against and to make it illegal to discriminate, which I agree. I mean, I'm a libertarian. Let people live how they want to. Fuck it, as long as they're not hurting anybody. If
Exactly.
if little Johnny wants to put a wiener in his mouth, that's
Let him. That's what he wants. As long
yeah,
as the other person's of age, then it doesn't really matter.
yeah. As long as everyone's
That's
a
the only
consenting
thing.
adult.
Right. That's the only thing that should really matter is, are they both consenting? Are they both of consenting age? Then what? Everything else is, you know.
Shouldn't have used little Johnny, Big John.
Right.
If Big
Oh, big
John
job.
and Greg
Great.
wanna
Right.
wanna
It's like
do
what
the thing, let them. Who
who they who
cares?
they who they sleep with is nobody else's business. I
Right?
I really wish they'd stop trying to identify as that, because then they're gonna change their entire lifestyle to fit that identity.
Oh my
Which,
god. I know what you
yeah,
mean. I know a guy that come out as gay and like I know I make a lot of jokes and half the things that come out of my mouth is wieners. But but I knew people that just every other word out of their mouth was no matter what we were discussing was I'm gay and
yeah,
or as a gay man or being gay. I mean like dude, we're talking about video games. I don't
right.
I don't care if you want to suckle upon my rod of majesty, you know. I'm not down for that with you. So, let's talk about Halo like we were before. Let's play some Halo. I'm so gay. Like if your sexuality is your personality, that you're not much of a person.
Exactly. There's not much there.
And it really bothers me because it's annoying.
Right. And it's like it just doesn't end.
Yeah,
They just keep smashing you in the face with it. And it's like, dude, that's annoying.
there's a difference between the bromos. I'm talking about guys,
Mhm.
which is gay guys. You don't know we're gay until they decide to tell you. And
Right, because
because
they
yeah,
understand how to they understand subtlety.
yeah,
And
and that their
yeah,
life is more than just their sexuality. And then there's the
right.
homos, HOEMOS.
Mhm.
I heard you trying to laugh. Uh, where that's all it's about, and they're on a never-ending conquest to for the golden wiener.
Yeah, for everyone in the world to know that they love the penis.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what else do you love? Do you love dogs? Do you love cats? What about horses?
Oh.
What's your stance on elephants? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's one aspect of life. Now let's focus on more. Where do you stand on war in the Middle East? I mean, come on. As a gay man, I find it just appalling. Hey,
Oh,
then
the
now we have something in common.
the peace talks have expanded, or the peace deals have expanded. Now there's 5 countries in the peace deals that have signed, and there's 5 more that want to sign in Trump's peace deals,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
includes Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
They're willing to normalize ties with Israel, dude. That is
Ooh. That's
super history.
yeah, yeah. If anything happens from if anything's recorded from Trump's presidency, it should be that peace in the Middle East.
Well, we both know Kamala because it won't be Biden in office. It would be Kamala will destroy Kamala and the Dems will destroy that as soon
Oh
as they
yeah.
can. You can't
They owe
profit
too
off
much money
peace.
to other people.
Yeah, they owe too many favors.
And that's
But
why we haven't been in a war with Trump, because he doesn't owe anybody favors.
no, that's great. That's awesome. The
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
gave up his he easy life. I'm sure it was.
Oh yeah.
Just
Guaranteed.
and decided he was going to help America, and he did. He has, and he has just been slammed for it.
because he wasn't willing to trade favors.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be nice to you in the media if you go to war with Israel. What? I'm not saying that's exactly what happened. I'm just saying.
Well, no, I know what you mean.
Mhm.
Uh, well, that's everything I've got that can fit in for today.
One final thing. Where does Napoleon keep his armies?
Oh my god.
In
Where?
his sleeves.
In his what?
In his sleeves.
His sleeveys.
His armies. He has to keep them in his
Oh
sleeves.
my god. Jesus,
Yes.
man.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more dad jokes.
Yeah, I think ending it in the dad joke is great.
Oh
But
yes. Oh yes.
thank you, everybody. And in the descriptions from now on, I'm going to be putting the, or I'm gonna wait till next week. But we have a Discord that I'm about to open up for the general public and anyone that likes our material. And next week, it will be in the description. It is being set up right now and made foolproof. So I won't be able to run it. But thank you for listening, and I hope y'all have a very good day. And let us know if there's anything we can do to improve the quality for you, because we care and whatever. All right, I
Thank you
got
for listening.
I got a lot of stuff to do today.